All right, I'm gonna go ahead and record this because I want to balance things out. I should try to do that a little bit more because I go at people like Jason Unruh and I may shit on the idea of socialism, but I'm kind of headed more in that direction. I may be kind of like I'm gonna call myself a social democrat because I know we can't use Nazbol anymore, so I'm gonna call myself a social democrat at this point, which is still cringe, but I'm trying to get to a better location. Maybe I'll call myself a socialist. But I saw a revolting, anger-inducing video, and I knew it was going to be anger-inducing the minute I saw it. From this guy, Valuetainment, or the guy's channel name, Valuetainment. Something Bet David. I think he's Iranian. Nothing against that. I just saw this bullshit-ass video he did. And I got to show y'all. Because this makes me so pissed off. So let's listen to this bullshit.
In order for capitalism to work, you need four elements. There are four elements to capitalism for it to work. What America's done is America's taken one of these elements out, and it's only left three of them. Here's what the three are. Capitalism allows you and I the freedom to buy whatever we want to buy that's legal. So freedom to buy, freedom to...
Notice he says that's legal. And it's like, it's the same... It's like, if you were going to sell weed, and if it's legal in a state, then you don't give a shit. But if it's over state lines, I'm sorry. I'm kind of spurging out, but god damn, nigga. Okay, go ahead.
So whatever you want that's legal, freedom to try. You want to try real estate? It didn't work? Great. I want to go. You want to try opening up a restaurant? Great. Didn't work. You want to go try this food? You want to go try this?
You can do that in socialism too. You can try something and fail at it. I don't get this type of shit where it's like, oh, America is killing. This is such it doesn't have anything to do with the point. It's him hustling people. This is all this video is. It is him hustling people. I'm sorry. I'm getting loud because this guy is full of shit.
You have the freedom to try whatever you want to try that's legal, right? That's the freedom that you have. The last one is the most important one, has been taken away. And I'll get to the last one here in a minute. Look. This last week, the last 4 days, I flew in 24 of our executives to Jekyll Island. The reason why I chose Jekyll Island is because in, I think, November 10th of 1910, I think 110 years ago, a group of leaders led by Senator Aldrich got together at Jekyll Island, and they started the Federal Reserve. And we went in the room where Federal Reserve got started with these 6 different bankers and senators and power players that were there. And they made this idea, which eventually became the Federal Reserve 1913, and it turned into what it is today. They printed trillions of dollars. Some say it's the most evil thing that's been built. Yeah. Some said we needed that at a time like that because...
Yeah, the Federal Reserve launders money to any country. And you ask, the famous stuff with Ben Bernanke, and he's just like, we don't know where this money comes from, where it went, and anything else like that. It's somewhere that not even the president of the United States can walk in that building. They cannot walk in the Federal Reserve and they cannot. That should be scary to you. But please, go ahead.
What happened at war, regardless of what it is, we went to Jekyll Island. And what Jekyll Island was known for is where Rockefellers had their own compound. William Rockefeller, we took our guys, we got a private tour of the Rockefeller compound. J.P. Morgan Chase. Matter of fact, Alexander Graham Bell made the first phone call to anybody from Jekyll Island. Just so you know, that's the idea of Jekyll Island. It's a very...
Makes me hate Alexander Graham Bell even more, but go ahead.
Exclusive type of a club many years ago. So we had this meeting. While we're at the meeting, I unpacked, because we were writing the constitution of our company, the declaration of our values and principles. And we started at...
A mission statement. Look, I say this because I've almost got my degree in Bachelor's of Business Administration and Marketing. It's called a mission statement and value statement. It's not a fucking constitution, idiot. God damn it. At least be honest about it. Oh, we're making a constitution. No, because guess what? Constitutions can be fucking changed. And so can these. God damn. I'm sorry. I know that's not even a point, but honestly, this makes me so angry. Go ahead. I'm not even doing this for the camera or anything else like that. This just makes me genuinely angry.
7 o'clock. One night we went till 3:30 in the morning. Great experience. One of the moments we talked about capitalism. And when I explained capitalism, I said one thing about great leaders and great parents is when you see as a parent, I have an 8-year-old son, a 7-year-old son today, and a 4-year-old daughter today, right? It's very hard to see your kids. You can do everything for your kids. And when you want to do everything for your kids, it's very hard to not do
The
it.
thing is, I'll just say this. Why is this guy dressed almost like he's a Guido? This guy's dressed like a paisan. And there's nothing, once again, I don't even have anything against Italians. He's got the slick back hair. He's got the gold chain. It's like, other than the fact that it's not Adidas, this guy looks like he's dressed as a fucking Guido. Go ahead.
It's because you have the resources to do it, right? So where am I going with this? Many times, I was 22 years old. I was in debt $49,000. I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I need you to pay off my debt. I'm in debt. It's really bad. I'm in a bad situation. My credit score is 484, 495, 499. And my dad said, son, I'm going to do one of the best things that I'm going to do for you today that you'll thank me decades from now. I said, what's that? He says, I'm not going to pay off your debt. I said, what do you mean? He says, I'm not going to pay off your debt. I said, what are you talking about? That's the best thing you're going to do for me. What kind of a father are you? All my friends that I told this story to, they're like, oh, dude, my dad helped me out. Oh, my mom helped me out. Or they bailed me out. All my friends got bailed out, except one kid doesn't get bailed out, and it's me. My dad decides to not bail
I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
me out. Like, how do you not pay off my debt? You're my daddy. You're supposed to do this. He says, I'm not supposed to do this. You're a grown man now. You got to be able to figure this thing out. I says, and by the way, here's the thing. I said, what's that? My friend at the time introduced me to a bankruptcy attorney. He says, Pat, here, go file bankruptcy. And you know what he said? Here's what he said. He said, how much more credit cards you got left? I said, I got about $7,000. He said, don't file BK unless you spend all the other $7,000. Some of you guys may have had this story. Go spend it, then file the BK, because at that point, don't worry about it. The laws allows us to, but go spend all the $7,000. So one of my friends told me, you know, my dad told me, he said, if you file BK for the rest of your life, you're going to take the easy way out.
Okay. So let's stop right here. Okay. I'm going to say something because I said that Donald Trump was a better choice. I said that, I think, back in October or early November. The reason I said that is because he makes capitalism and makes the United States look worse. All right. And that's how I'm going to revise it. Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy 3 times. And yet I don't hear a word from you saying shit like this. 3 times. So when you say, okay, go ahead.
One of the worst things you'll ever do if you do it. And I'm telling you, I'm not paying you off.
One of the worst things ever. Ha! He became president. And now, of course, Donald Trump is looking at, a couple of cases that people could, that people are going to bring him up on. When he leaves the White House, his lawyers are going to, be in litigation for at least a decade. Maybe, I could be wrong, but it's like he's in some serious shit. And of course, jackasses like you don't say dumb shit like this, and you're giving me anecdotal evidence. And it's like he doesn't even bring up the main point of how America is killing capitalism. He barely talks about that. This is anecdotal bullshit story that he has. Go ahead.
But I think you can figure out a way to pay this money back. For 2 weeks, I didn't talk to my dad. You know what ended up happening? I kept every single statement. If you've ever seen the video, Life of an Entrepreneur in 90 Seconds, if you ever watch that video, go back and watch it. It's 90 seconds. If you see the credit report, pause and look at it. That's my credit score. That's actually my credit report. I ran in 2004. I think it's November date when I ran it. It shows my credit score 484, 495, 499. I was broke. My dad didn't pay me off.
I'm broke right now, nigga. And my credit score is probably about like 690 or something like that. So what the fuck does that? Once again, this is anecdotal. And why is he telling this bullshit ass story? It makes me angry because the thing is, he's like, oh, my parents didn't bail me out. Guess what? My parents didn't bail me out either. But guess what? They didn't have the fucking money. So I knew I had to pay it off myself. I'm not even going to get into fuck it. I will get into the story. I went to college in 2004. This is technically the second time around. I had some issues. We'll just put it that way. I'm not even going to get into the whole kit and caboodle. I leave college in 2006. It was not only the school, but it was also, as we say, the loans themselves. So the school needed the money because I hadn't finished the semester, so they didn't get their money. And I know. Usually it's they pay it up front anyway, but it's like, so the school wanted their money, and then you had the loan company. I sent most of my checks that I made when I was working at Target to this loan company. I get a notice. Basically, it says, now you need to pay these people. It was the school. Then it became the loan company where they're like, well, now you need to pay us. So it was like $350 at a time. I'm riding the fucking bus. And this nigga talks about it like, oh, well, it made me a success. That doesn't guarantee fucking success. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, you paid it off yourself. What a good boy. Broke niggas know about this. It's like broke motherfuckers who know, and their parents are broke. They know that they have to pay it. Otherwise, they're going to go to jail or they're going to get their wages garnished anyway. So it's like, you might as well pay. It just maddens the hell out of me. Because like, I did the same fucking thing. It's just fucking disgusting. And we'll see the real trick behind this at the end. Go ahead.
I kept every single statement. You know how crazy my credit report score was? I forgot to return Time Warner's little, I don't know what Roadrunner thing they had back in the days, the cable box. I don't return it. I owe Time Warner $720. I'm like, take this damn Roadrunner back. I had $720 I had to pay them. At $49,000, my dad didn't bail me out. You know what happened the next couple of years? I paid every single thing that I had. I paid it off.
Yeah.
What it did to me was the following. Remember the freedom to buy, freedom to sell, freedom to try? You know what the last one is that my dad allowed to happen, which is why he raised this leader that he raised, because without him, I'm a different boy. There is no Patrick Bet-David what my dad did to me that day. You know what it was? It's the freedom to fail.
Oh, please. Okay. As I guess, Jay, see, the thing is, he gives his anecdotal bullshit story that has nothing to do with America killing capitalism. But even past that bullshit is the freedom to fail. Shit, there are plenty of folks that are failing right now. There are 19 million people that are going to be kicked out of their homes. Rents are going to continue to rise. And they're talking about with the COVID-19 shot that you have to take a booster. So you can't just get one. You're going to have to pay for two. That's bullshit. And some people are saying now, they're saying is that, well, maybe people only need one shot. Maybe they only need one. It's like, well, we need enough people who are, maybe it's this herd mentality bullshit, but still, god damn, I'm just mentioning it as an off topic, but go ahead.
It's the hardest one. My dad says, I'm comfortable with you failing, even though deep down inside he was in pain, wanting to bail out his only son. What father doesn't want to bail out the son? He said, I'm not going to bail you out. And that exact thing that happened to me made me realize for the rest of my life, I can stand on my own 2 feet. So what's going on with America today? What does this have to do with Jekyll Island? In Jekyll Island, I was talking to my leaders. I said, the moment a leader realizes you do your part, you lead your guys, you work for your guys, you go out, you create a great opportunity, you create an environment where people are excited to have a leader like you. But the moment you're afraid of your sales guys being rejected and you feel guilty about the price they have to pay, you are no longer a leader, because you can't sit there and feel guilty.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? How is that? Once again, what the fuck does this have to do with anything whatsoever? Go ahead.
Try to take that freedom to fail away from them. You know what America's doing right now today?
Freedom to fail? No, it's called getting free to lose your fucking job. See, this nigga talks about, if you're afraid that your salesmen are going to fail. No, most businesses aren't like that. They're like, no, if you don't meet this quota, you're out of here. That's what a lot of jobs are about. So what the fuck is this guy talking about saying, oh, don't ever feel bad for your... What managers have you talked to? What managers have you fucking talked to? I worked in HVAC. And by the way, look, I'm not going to say I was an angel at that job, but nonetheless, they decided to play the game that a lot of these folks do. Is they're like, why don't you just stay here and clean up the shop? And what do? Because I guess I messed up so many things. They're just like, well, we've decided to let you go. Were they going to treat me nicely? No, they didn't give a fuck. They said, it's time for you to go. And I decided to be a wise ass. I said, well, it's not the first time. And I left. But it's like, my dude, what fucking world do you live in where you hear leaders talk about that shit? Like, this is some imaginary fucking shit. I have never heard a boss in my life say dumb shit like this. Like, oh, well, I feel sorry that my salesman can't be free to fail. It doesn't work that way. No, if you fail, you get kicked to the fucking curb.
Today, tell you what America's doing right now. America is afraid of Americans failing. America is afraid of people failing. I'm not talking COVID-19, by the way. I'm not talking COVID-19.
Oh, here we go. See, now look, he's being very slick about this. So he's saying America's afraid of Americans failing. And what evidence does he back up with this?
Because this is a different time. America chose to change the guidelines about the fact that you can't open up the restaurant. If you're shutting down my restaurant and I want to work, that's on you, government, not on me. I didn't want to close down my restaurant. You did. So you do have to do something about those.
Oh, give me a fucking break. You know, the thing is that, look, I'm not going to see you out there with the anti-maskers, so give me a fucking break with that shit. Oh, I actually like small businesses. Get fucked. Go ahead.
I'm talking set COVID aside because this is an anomaly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The whole too big to fail, 2008, that's the government's mistake. They kicked.
That's the What the fuck? Like I said, you can blame the U.S. government for that, but to say that he doesn't even mention companies that were bailed out. You know, the thing is that it's the bank's fault for giving money to people that had a bad fucking credit record. You yourself talked about the fact that you had a bad fucking credit record. Do you think that if it was any legitimate bank floating money to people who know that they wouldn't be able to pay, that had a poor fucking credit record, are you fucking kidding me? That's on the... That is on the banks. That is on the banks themselves. And he's just going to go off on a fucking tangent.
Rates low, Nina, no income, no assets, no income, no assets. And then a WAMU gets greedy. You got to let them fail. You know who bought them? Chase bought them for $1.9 billion, but didn't do it with other companies. Today in America.
Whoa. They didn't do it with other companies. The fuck is this nigga talking about? It's like, he didn't even, you know, notice he left out Fannie Mae. He left out these other companies. He left all that shit out. And the facts that, you know, home prices kerplunked and everything else. Oh, God damn it.
We have so many people that are becoming entitled. We have
entitled? Entitled to what?
People that have this victim mentality. We have
a victim mentality. Holy shit. People are getting a victim mentality. They ought to work, you know. See, this is the typical capitalist sort of pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boy. And then it's like when you don't make it, they're just like, well, you should have done this, and this. The thing is, look, you made a fucking deal. The thing is that this is the real secret with capitalism and with people like this. They make deals with the devil. They do. This is one of the biggest secrets, I think, that anybody, it's an open secret. People make deals with bigger name capitalists, and they are protected by that. So while he says, oh, screw the U.S. government, the next minute, when he gets money for a company, or that he's able to, you know, I don't know, if the government lowers, the capital gains tax or something like that, then this nigga will be like, I love the U.S. government. I love them. But that's the secret, though, is that capitalists make deals with other capitalists and say, yeah, I'm willing to sell this company to this. If you just, it's the same thing that musicians do. If you're a legitimate musician and this and that, you're willing to sell your soul so that you can be rich and famous, so that you can live in a mansion. You can live like Snoop Dogg or whoever. It's disgusting. But that is the system that is preached. What people never talk about is the fact that, most folks don't make it. Most of these businesses go up in smoke. This motherfucker isn't even talking about regulations. He's not even talking about any of this type of thing. He's like, well, COVID is an anomaly. It's the government's fault for that. I'm not even going to talk about that. But, Americans are getting entitled.
So many people that want to say it's the government's fault. We have so many people that want the government.
You were just blaming the government just a minute ago. So what are you talking about? So many people want the government to bail them out. They should just pull themselves up by their bootstraps. When the fucking economy collapses, and they'll just say, and people like you will just say, should have put your money in, Bitcoin. Should have put your money in Ethereum, jackass. You poor slob. You should have put your money there. You should have gotten a real job, welder or plumber. You should have gotten a real job, This is what people like this would do. I guarantee you.
To bail them out. We have so many people that want everybody to do everything for them. Why? Because
people don't actually do that. There are those people that do exist. I will give you that. Okay? I will surrender that point. Yes, there are welfare queens and all this other stuff. Yes, people like that do exist. But the thing is, though, is that what has capitalism given a few amount of people and doesn't give to everybody else? If only they had gotten their degree in something else, God damn.
Because when it comes down to capitalism, we don't have capitalism today in America. And not because, we're a socialistic society. We don't have capitalism.
Oh, we're not a socialistic society. Oh, boy. Let me hear this bullshit. Go ahead.
Today because we're not allowing people to fail. We are afraid.
Oh, please. People are failing all fucking day. People are failing by the millions. People are losing their jobs. The fucking tariffs alone on China caused, I think, let me double check here. Let me double check right quick here. I have a list of things I want to talk about here. Let me see here with the oh shit. I think is it this one? Okay, no, not that one, not that one. Not that one. Okay, it's this one. Let me make sure here. Shenzhen, okay, China. Okay. Suspected, okay, U.S. debt, how much China owns, reinforcing transatlantic, okay. Okay, there's one, U.S. tariffs on China. Okay, let me go ahead and do that right quick. There's one that I clicked on. More pain than gain. Okay, this is, yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and click on this one. To hell with it. I don't know if they're going to they're going to make me pay or what. Let's go ahead and find out. Deal maker, draws near $200 billion in goods. Okay, by the end of 2021. Origins of the trade war, blah, 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 346 million. Economic costs. Okay, here we go. Found the trade war had already cost the U.S. economy 300,000 jobs, 0.3% of real GDP, put the cost of U.S. GDP at 0.7%. Would cost the U.S. economy $316 billion by the end of 2020. found that U.S. companies lost at least $1.7 trillion in the price of their stocks. And like I say, you got to take it all with a grain of salt comparatively, but it's ridiculous to me when I hear horse shit like that, where it's like, oh, people are afraid to fail. No, businesses are failing too, asshole. What the fuck are you even talking about?
Of people failing. By the way, this applies in the way you run a country. This applies in the way you raise a family. This applies in the way you run a company. You gotta allow.
How is the U.S. preventing people from failing? There are plenty of people that are failing, not just because, yeah, there are probably people that fail because of their own incompetence. Fine. But there are people that are failing because of external forces that they can't control. It's disgusting to me when I see this type of shit. It's disgusting to me. I will never get a chance to talk to this Pat Ben-David guy. But it's like, holy shit, look at this guy. Look at this jackass saying this shit. I've seen him try to debate, people like Dr. Richard Wolff, and Richard Wolff is just sitting there like, what the fuck are you even talking about? But it's like, look at this jackass.
People to fail. Everybody has to have the ability to fail. Because when you fail, painful, embarrassing, publicly humiliating sometimes, when you fail, that is a moment where everybody in the world is kind of watching to see what you really are made up of, because that's what we cannot measure. We can measure a lot of different things: your body fat, your height, your weight, your shoe size, your hat size, everything we can measure. We can't measure your fight deep down inside. In capitalism,
once again, well, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep fighting. Pull yourself up. Do these things. It's not that. It's not like that with capitalism. We all know that's not the way it is with capitalism. It's about playing the game and knowing when to pull out your money and when to put in your money. That's how simple it is with capitalism. Where you put your money and how much money you have, and where you put and when you take it out, so that you can get as much money as you can out of it. We see these businessmen go on these cruises and shit like that, or they go all across the world. And then you're just like, oh, well, that's okay, I guess, huh? Or you see these people like, Jeff Bezos, who own all these, who may own, is it Washington? No. I don't think it's Washington Post. Maybe you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to bring up that point. Go ahead.
Forces the world to find out if you got the ability to recover and recoup and come back and redeem yourself after you failed, because we allowed you to fail. So there is a certain.
We allow you. It's like he doesn't even give any fucking backup. This sounds like to me like propaganda. Like, who cares? Who cares if you don't get that $2,000? Because guess what? I know I'm not getting it. My parents already got it. I'm not going to, because ultimately they did. That's a whole other issue. I'm not even going to get into that. But it's like, I'm not going to get that money. I'm not going to. So I'm going to, I guess I'm just like Pat Ben-David, I guess. I paid off my own debts, and I'm going to continue to pay off my school debts, my $35,000, however much I'm going to pay a month on that. I guess I'll be a success story in capitalism, except I'm not a rich motherfucker like this guy who's grifting and saying, well, we're going to teach about leadership, this and that. No, and it's an excuse, jackass. Go ahead.
Opportunity in failing. So, going back to you, how are you when you fail? Did your family let you fail? Were you bailed out all the time? Does your company let you fail? Or are you always like, oh my gosh, you know what? Don't worry about it, honey. You're tired. Go home early because you got to get some rest, sweetheart.
Who the fuck says that? Who the fuck says that? And what places are you talking about that they say that? Let me tell you something else from that job that I worked at. In HVAC, that this guy that, I'm not even going to say his name. He said, I was stripping wires, this and that, so that they could connect this. It's a CO sensor. They were connecting that. He comes up to me when I'm looking for something in the van. He's passing by. He says, those last few wires you stripped look like shit. That's the type of nigga that I'm dealing with. In what world are managers mollycoddling people like that? I have never heard fucking managers do that. They have a tight frame where it's like, you make this goal or we let you go. It is that fucking simple. I have never in my life ever heard any bullshit like this where managers were ever like, oh, go home, honey. No, I have never heard that in my life. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm just so upset that I can't think straight. But it's like, holy shit, what is this guy talking about?
Oh my, they said no to you. Shame on these customers. They don't even know who they have on working with somebody like you or the country. Oh,
I have never heard that before.
Poor you. I understand. You are really going through tough times. People don't understand. Here you go. Let me give you some unemployment check for a long time, 2 years. It's going to.
Who the fuck? Once again, you're just talking about, well, screw them. Screw that they're unemployed. You're creating lumpen proletariat. You're going to create thieves. You're going to create more gangs. You're going to create people that don't give a fuck, that are loyal to a gang instead of a country. You fucking dipshit. Where you're like, oh, we don't want. Basically, he's just saying, yeah, screw those people who take those unemployment checks. You should keep going. Keep working. Keep going up.
Be all right. We got your back. That's not having my back. That's taking away my ability to find out what my dog fight looks like. The moment you find out your dog fight, you have no idea what great things can happen in your life. So having said that,
you just need to keep fighting. You just need to keep fighting even though the economy is falling all around you. The U.S. government, I guess, is socialist. Of course, he didn't say that specifically. Unfucking believable, It's unfucking believable. I have never heard in my life. This is just a straw man. It's like these are pointless straw men that don't exist in the real world. It's like, please, in the comments, when you see this video, I know that the audio is going to be shit. I apologize, but it's like, what is this nigga talking about? Because I have never seen managers be like that and Monty coddle people like that. No, they're like, hey, you meet that standard or you get the fuck out. I have never in my life heard that. Never in my life.
The next time somebody tries to bail you out, take that as a form of somebody feeling guilty for you losing. And if you can even stand up to your own self and say, you know what, I don't need that handout. I don't need the bailout. If you can.
Oh boy, I don't need that $2,000 check. This is a fucking meme. How strong is my fight? Usually it's not even a fucking fight. It's just realizing that I have alienated myself from everybody because I don't have enough money. And I'm busy paying it to motherfuckers. That's the whole thing. So this bullshit that this motherfucker is saying, like, oh, well, you need to keep fighting. I don't need a bailout. If this guy was hit, oh man. It's just, disgusting. Utterly disgusting. And I have seen this guy before.
Do that, you're at the ultimate level if you don't take the bailout because you're in a league of your own. Because very few people can do that in that moment. Look, I would have taken my dad bailing me. I'm telling you right now.
Look at this jackass. He's like, well, I would have taken the money. It's like a real motherfucker. It's like, yeah, I wish that my parents had that money too. Because apparently your dad did. My parents didn't. They didn't have that money back in 2006, and they sure as hell don't have that much now. So I know I'm going to have to pay for myself. Ain't nobody going to lie to me. It's just me, myself, and I. Every man for himself in this land would be gunning. That's what America creates. It creates people that don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. And it creates a society of people that say you either meet a company's goals or you get the fuck out. And they will treat you like shit. And they will call you. And bosses will call you. Hey, did you meet that goal? You better fucking meet that goal. It makes me so angry when I see this shit. Yeah, I do. It makes me so angry when I see it.
I'm not sitting here telling you I'm walk on water. My dad didn't let me be bailed out. And look what happened to leadership. So this applies to business, society, and the company, family, the way you raise people, the way you raise leaders around you. You can look at this message and ask yourself what kind of a leader you want to build and what kind of a leader you want to be. With that being said, if you're watching and say, Pat, I want to get tougher. I want to be able to become a stronger leader myself and develop stronger leaders.
Oh, hush. No, I don't want to hear your grifting ass bullshit. No, we're done with your bullshit. God damn. Okay. Now, should I have gotten, more studies, this and that, and probably actually attacked his arguments? Yeah, I could have. But the thing is, he gave me a lousy fucking argument. It just makes me so angry when I see this type of shit. This is why. This is the type of propaganda that is put out, where it's like, well, capitalism, is just doing great. Oh, the COVID though, that's that's an anomaly. I'm not going to talk about that. Or he keeps his mouth shut about that, and keeps his mouth shut about businesses closing. But when it comes to, his own business, I imagine he'd be the first one complaining, pissing and moaning, if he was, if someone that was doing his taxes or whatever it was, and he was going to lose money, this guy would be pissing and moaning to the government as much as it is. So this idea where it's just like, oh, well, I don't want a welfare state. This is just bullshit. And you wonder why crime is up. And you wonder why all these issues come up. And then you see people like that, he's just like, well, we shouldn't be paying unemployment. He didn't say that. I'll be very specific here. He didn't say it, but he implied it heavily, at least in my opinion. Oh, well, we're giving employment that'll last for 2 years, unemployment. Oh, yeah, Are they getting fucking rich off the government through unemployment? I don't think they are. Unless they're really hustlers. And like I say, the Wignat in me wants to bring up a particular group of people, especially when talking about welfare and unemployment checks. But I'm not going to do that. But it's like utterly disgusting when I see this type of shit. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Like I say, hopefully tomorrow I will be debating broadcast or superpower broadcasting, and I will provide the link when necessary. So yeah, I will hopefully do that. And yeah. But yeah, utterly disgusting. That's all I can say about that. I hope y'all enjoyed that. See you later. Goodbye.